I spent 52 years of my life living a complete lie. And the worst part, everyone around me was living the same lie too. My name is Robert Chen. I'm 78 years old. And I'm about to tell you something that will change how you see your entire life.
For over 5 decades, I believed that working hard would make me happy, that saving money was the path to freedom, that retirement was the finish line where life finally begins. I was wrong about everything. But the truth behind this will shock you even more than it shocked me. Here's what I'm going to reveal in this video. First, the dangerous lie that society has been feeding us since childhood. Second, the simple truth that billionaires know but never share. And third, the real reason why most people die with regrets instead of memories. I discovered this truth at age 76, not from a book, not from a guru, but from a homeless man who had more wisdom than every successful person I'd ever met. This man told me 3 sentences, just 3 simple sentences, and they destroyed everything I thought I knew about life. Now I'm racing against time to share this message, because if you're under 60, you still have a chance to avoid the mistake I made, a chance to actually live before you die. Let me show you exactly how this happened and why everything you've been taught about success is designed to keep you trapped. The lie started when I was 6 years old. My father came home from his factory job one evening. His hands were dirty, his back was bent. He looked tired, like he always did. He sat me down at our small kitchen table and he said the words that would shape my entire life. "Son, if you work hard and save your money, one day you'll be free." I believed him. Why wouldn't I? He was my father. So I worked hard, really hard. I got good grades in school, I went to college, I got a job at an insurance company. I showed up early, I stayed late, I never complained. I married a wonderful woman named Sarah when I was 24. We had 2 kids. We bought a small house in the suburbs. We did everything right. Every month, I put money into savings, I cut coupons, I drove the same car for 15 years. I packed my lunch instead of buying it. I skipped vacations because we were saving for retirement. My friends did the same thing. My neighbors did the same thing. Everyone on my street was living the exact same life. We all believed the same story. Work now, live later. Here's the first surprise. By age 50, I had saved over $300,000. That sounds like success, right? That's what everyone told me. My wife was proud, my kids thought I was smart, my coworkers called me responsible. But I had never been to Europe. I had never learned to play the guitar like I wanted. I had never taken my kids on that camping trip I always talked about. I had never written the book that was in my head. I kept telling myself, someday when I retire, someday when I have more time, someday when I have enough money. The second surprise came at age 65. I finally retired. I had the time, I had the money, I had everything I'd worked for. But my body didn't work the same way anymore. My knees hurt, my back ached, I got tired easily. All those adventures I'd planned, they suddenly seemed too difficult. And the third surprise was the worst one of all. My wife Sarah got sick 2 years after I retired. Cancer. She died 6 months later. We never took that trip to Italy she always wanted. We never danced under the stars in Paris. We never did any of the things we said we'd do someday. I had wasted 52 years preparing for a life that never came. Now here's where things get really interesting.
3 months after Sarah died, I fell into a deep depression. I couldn't sleep, I couldn't eat. I spent my days sitting in my house surrounded by all the things I'd bought. The nice furniture, the big TV, the car in the garage. None of it mattered. One morning I couldn't take it anymore. I drove to the park near my house. I sat on a bench and I started crying. That's when I met Marcus. Marcus was a homeless man who lived in that park. He was probably in his 60s. He had a long, gray beard and wore old clothes. Most people walked past him like he was invisible. But Marcus sat down next to me. He didn't say anything at first. He just sat there while I cried. Finally, he spoke. "You look like a man who has everything but feels like he has nothing." I was shocked. How did he know? I told him everything, my whole life story, the work, the saving, the waiting, the loss. Marcus listened to every word. Then he told me something that changed everything. "You know what the difference is between you and me?" he asked. "You're rich, but you're not free. I'm poor, but I'm completely free." I didn't understand. How could a homeless man be free? He explained it like this. "Every day I wake up when my body tells me to wake up. I go where I want to go. I talk to who I want to talk to. I have no boss, no bills, no schedule. I own nothing, so nothing owns me." Then he said something even more powerful. "You spent your whole life trading time for money, but time is the only thing you can never get back. You can always make more money, you can never make more time." This hit me like a punch to the stomach. He was right. I had sold my life hour by hour for pieces of paper and numbers in a bank account. I had traded my youth, my energy, my relationships, my dreams, all for the promise that someday I would finally start living. But here's the real shock. Marcus wasn't always homeless. He told me his story. He used to be a lawyer. He made great money, he had a big house, expensive cars, designer clothes. He was living the American dream. Then, one day, his best friend died. The friend was only 45 years old. Heart attack, gone in an instant. Marcus went to the funeral. He looked at his friend in the casket, and he realized something terrifying. His friend had spent his entire life working, just like Marcus, and he died before he ever got to live. That day, Marcus made a decision. He quit his job, he sold everything he owned, and he decided to actually live. For the past 15 years, Marcus had traveled across America. He slept under the stars, he met thousands of people, he read hundreds of books, he learned to play the harmonica, he wrote poetry. He was happy. "I have no money," Marcus told me, "but I have time, I have freedom, I have experiences, I have memories, and when I die, I'll die with a smile, not regrets." I sat there stunned. This poor homeless man was richer than I had ever been. But if you think that's crazy, wait until you hear this. Marcus and I met in that park every day for the next 3 months. He taught me things I'd never learned in my 76 years of life. Things they never teach you in school. Things your parents never tell you. Things society tries to hide. The biggest lesson was about the system we live in. Marcus explained it like this. The world is designed to keep you working. Think about it. You go to school for 16 years to learn how to be a good worker. Then you work for 40 years to buy things you don't need. Then you retire when you're too old to enjoy the money you saved. He called it the work, spend, die cycle. Here's how it works. When you're young, they teach you that success means having a career, a house, a car, nice things. They show you pictures of happy people with lots of stuff. So you work hard to get those things. But here's the trick. The things you buy require money to maintain. The house needs repairs, the car needs gas, the stuff needs to be stored and cleaned and replaced. So you need to keep working to pay for the things you already bought. You're trapped. And it gets worse. Most people buy these things with debt, credit cards, car loans, mortgages. Now you're not just working to maintain your stuff, you're working to pay interest to banks. Marcus showed me something shocking. He pulled out a piece of paper and did the math with me. The average American spends 47 hours per week at work, including commute time. That's 2,444 hours per year. Over a 40-year career, that's 97,760 hours.
Now divide that by 24 hours in a day. That's 4,073 days. That's 11 years of your life spent entirely at work. But wait, it's actually worse. Most people spend another 10 to 20 hours per week doing things related to work, shopping for work clothes, stressing about work, recovering from work stress, preparing for work the next day. Add it all up, and the average person spends nearly 20 years of their life on work and work-related activities. 20 years, gone, traded for money. But here's what really blew my mind. Marcus asked me a simple question. In your 52 years of working, how much of that money did you spend on things that actually made you happy? I thought about it. Really thought about it. The big house? It just meant more space to clean. The nice car? It got me to work and back. The expensive furniture? I barely noticed it. The latest TV? I was too tired to watch it most nights. Maybe 5% of what I bought actually brought me joy. Maybe. That means I spent over 18 years of my life working for things that didn't even make me happy. Marcus then told me about the Pareto principle. It's also called the 80-20 rule. In most areas of life, 20% of your efforts create 80% of your results. This is true in business, it's true in relationships, and it's true in happiness. He said that 20% of your experiences create 80% of your joy in life. But most people spend 80% of their time doing things that only create 20% of their happiness. Think about that. Most of us spend most of our time on things that barely matter. I started thinking about my own life. What were my happiest memories? Playing catch with my son in the backyard when he was 7, dancing with Sarah in our living room on a random Tuesday, a camping trip with friends when I was 30, reading bedtime stories to my daughter, laughing until I cried at a family dinner. None of these things cost much money. None of them required me to work overtime. None of them needed a bigger house or a nicer car. The best moments of my life were free, or nearly free. But I had sacrificed thousands of potential moments like these because I was too busy or too tired or saving money. Marcus looked at me seriously. Robert, society has trained you to be a productive worker, not a happy human. They don't want you to be happy. Happy people don't buy as much stuff. They don't work as many hours. They're not good consumers. This brings us to the most shocking discovery of all.